Thank you for joining this NACCU Campus Card Program Highlight. I'm Joran Liston, Education Director for NACCU, the National Association of Campus Card Users. Joining me is Richard Wynn from Georgia Southern University.
Thank you, Joran, and I appreciate the opportunity to present this information about Georgia Southern University and our Eagle Card program. Just to give you some general information, we have full-time enrollment of a little over 27,000 students across 3 campuses, the Statesboro, Savannah, and Hinesville. We recently consolidated with Armstrong State University, and that was completed in July of 2018. Card services on all 3 campuses are run underneath our auxiliary services umbrella. So for our card offices, we have 2 full-time offices, the one in Statesboro and the second is in Savannah. We have 3 full-time staff in our Statesboro office and 2 full-time staff in our Savannah office. We are a Blackboard Transact school. We're currently using IDWorks 6.5, and we issue Eagle cards to all students, faculty, and staff. We also issue department badges, gift cards, conference cards, summer programs, just a whole myriad of different types of cards come through the office. And between all 3 offices, we issue about 15,000 cards a year. Currently, we have our photos that are captured locally in order to produce the card. So the technology that we use is data card printers. We had previously used SP75s, and we've moved to SD360s and SD460 printers. Canon cameras are the current cameras that we're using right now. We find that they're working very well for us. The card has a 3-track mag stripe on it. We also have proximity and MyFair, and the proximity is used for access control, and the MyFair is used for Blackboard transactions as well as some access control. We encode the MyFair on a separate device, a Blackboard MF4100. We all record the prox information with an RFID reader. So the encoding of both of these technologies is done by hand. We used to have it done right inside the printer, but we found that it was faster and easier if we did it by hand. And we also have a system from Iris ID. It's an ICAM 7 camera, which is a biometric camera, which captures a photo of student, faculty, and staff's eyes, and it stores that template on a server, and then students, faculty, and staff can go to another camera and enter either a dining hall or a student athletic facility. The capture of the iris biometric is part of the card issuance process. Because it is another step, we do that at the point of printing, because it takes 25 seconds to print, and we use that time in order to bring the student up to the camera, take a picture of their eyes, and generally about 65% of our students are able to enroll in the iris camera system before that card ends up in the hopper. And at that point, then we hand the students the card and everything is finished. As I mentioned before, our card offices, we have 3 full-time staff in our Statesboro office, and we have 2 full-time staff in our Savannah office and 1 shared parking employee with 2 student employees in Savannah. Hinesville, the card production is done by an IT employee because there are only 400 students in one particular building. So as part of the consolidation, we had made a conscious decision to bring parking services underneath the card services umbrella. It moved from being part of public safety over to auxiliary services. We renovated a building and we put all 3 employees in that building, and it's worked out very well for us. It's helped us to save some money, and it's helped us to be able to provide parking as well as card services from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and everything is covered because we have 3 employees, and all of those employees can do parking as well as card. The 2 student employees help with when we do orientations, when we have big events, and they also help with doing parking enforcement at times. Hinesville is only open a very short period of time, usually 2 to 3 hours a week, because we have so few students who are enrolled at that campus. So card services at Georgia Southern crosses a rather large venue of different services. We do assign and manage all of the meal plans and stored value accounts. This semester in particular, we had over 7,200 meal plans, which includes EagleXpress packages, budget packages, and then our all-you-can-eat access plans that are in there. We use 3 stored value accounts for most students, which is EagleXpress, which is our global stored value account. So you can use EagleXpress at all dining locations, the university store, computer store. It's accepted everywhere on campus with the exception of paying for tuition and fees. We also have an off-campus program of over 70 vendors that accept EagleXpress, and we manage that particular program ourselves. So we install all of the devices to accept the EagleXpress, we manage the contract, we run the reports, and we process everything for payment. And we have about $1.5 million per year in off-campus sales. We also have a second stored value account, which is called Budget Bucks, and that's where students give us a certain amount of money, $480. We would put it on a student's account, and then we give them $30 a week for 16 weeks. And this is for those students who sometimes struggle with being able to budget themselves. When you get an EagleXpress package, for example, we would give you all of those funds up front, and some students have a tendency to spend too much, and then towards the middle or end of the semester they don't have any left. So Budget Bucks is what we've been using in order to help those students out. And then the third stored value account that we use for all students is Dining Dollars. And Dining Dollars, a lot of people would call it Flex. It's funds that are given to students who get meal plans. It's an extra bonus. So our current meal plans would allow you unlimited access to 2 of our large dining halls on campus. You can go in there as often as you would like. And then we give you the Dining Dollars so that you can use those funds at one of our 9 other retail locations on the Statesboro campus, and then we have 5 additional locations at the Savannah campus. In order to help us to assign these 7,000 plus plans and packages, we had our IT department write a piece of software that's called Dining Plan Manager. Dining Plan Manager allows a student to go in and pick the dining plan that they would want. So we have 7 different dining plans that are available out there, and they can have a combination of any 2 of those. So students who are not under what we call Filer first year living on requirement, who must have a dining plan, students who are sophomores, juniors, seniors, and above are allowed to pick whatever dining plan that they would like, and they would use Dining Plan Manager in order to do this. Prior to us having Dining Plan Manager, basically it was just a spreadsheet that we had that we would have to process as students came in or sent us emails or called, and we would be processing all that by hand. Dining Plan Manager will put the charge on what we call the student's wings account. That's a student's invoice. And then it will also assign whatever dining plan or package that they have, as well as any additional funds that go on there. So the EagleXpress would be deposited, Budget Bucks, and or Dining Dollars if they have it. And then one of the other things that Card Services manages is access control. So across the 3 campuses, we have access control in 2 buildings on our Statesboro campus, and all of the access control on the Savannah and Hinesville or Liberty campus are done through Blackboard Transact. In Statesboro, we have 4 different access control systems, and at some point we would like to see if we can get those particular access control systems consolidated. So as I was mentioning, in the future, we're looking to try and centralize access control, which having 4 different systems that are out there with 4 different groups that are controlling them, we would like to see if we can get that all centralized under one particular system. However, it has proved difficult. For several years we've been trying to do that, but we're making a little more leeway with that, and hopefully in the near future we'll be able to have one centralized access control system. One of the other things that we're looking at to do very soon is upgrade IDWorks to True Credential. If you've been using IDWorks, you've probably noticed that there haven't been any changes to IDWorks probably in 7 or 8 years. And True Credential is a browser-based browser-based upgrade to IDWorks. One of the things that I think that would be excellent for our card services department is we would actually be able to go around with either iPads or a camera and a laptop and to do remote capture of photos and send those badges or those ID card print jobs back to the card center, where they would be printed through a centralized server that would manage all of the printers. That's something that's not really available in IDWorks right now. So the flexibility of True Credential, we're really looking forward to using that. And recently, I'm sure that you've heard that Apple worked with Blackboard in order to create a mobile credential, that ID card on a mobile phone. Apple in particular, but they're also at this point supporting the Android platform. We strongly feel that this is going to be widely accepted by students, and students would really like to use a mobile credential. There have been several recent installations of the Apple mobile credential that have been very successful, and we're keeping an eye on that to see how that goes. But I'm definitely pushing to have the mobile credential brought to Georgia Southern University. And then one of the other things that we'd really like to do is expand the iris system. So I mentioned before that we have iris cameras, and it's a biometric that we use here on campus. So when we take that picture of a student's eyes and we store that template on the server, then they can do self-entry into a couple of different places here on campus. Two in particular are the 2 dining halls that we have. A student can walk up, they look at the camera takes a picture of their eye, matches it to the template that's on file, and when they get a positive match, it will send their student ID number out to Blackboard, and Blackboard will determine whether or not they have a dining plan, and if they do, it unlocks that turnstile. It has worked very, very well for us here on campus. At this point, we have over 5 million entries using the iris camera. It was so successful that the students asked us if we would expand that to our student athletic facility. So students who go to work out don't have to carry their ID card with them anymore. They can just go and look in the iris camera, and it'll open the turnstile for them to enter. We're hoping that we can expand this to other departments. Some of the places we're looking at, for example, would be labs, which need to be secured, as well as network operations center, where they want to have a limited number of people who are going into this. And I hope that if you have any questions, that you feel free to contact me at Georgia Southern University. And I thank you for listening to this webinar.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you, viewers. We hope you've enjoyed this initiative brought to you by the NACCU Tech Research Committee.